Now let's talk about a rather marvelous chap. His name was Dionysus, you see. He was a Greek god, and a very important one too. What was he the god of, you ask? Well, primarily wine, which is always a good start, but also joy, wild parties, and even the theatre. He was the son of Zeus, the top god himself, so quite the pedigree. People really truly adored him. He brought such fun. Dionysus wasn't just about a nice glass of red, though. Oh no, he represented something much deeper. He stood for a kind of ecstasy, a feeling of being utterly free. Imagine forgetting all your daily worries. Imagine pure, unadulterated happiness. That was Dionysus's speciality. He encouraged everyone to break away from stuffy rules. He wanted them to feel truly alive. A real force for liberation, he was. You could often spot him in ancient art. He'd usually have grapevines around him, or he might be holding a special staff. This staff, called a thyrsus, had a pine cone on its tip, rather distinctive, I must say. He was often accompanied by his lively followers. These were the satyrs, who were half goat, and the maenads, wild women. He truly loved nature's untamed side, a bit of a wild spirit himself. His appeal was enormous, particularly to ordinary folk. You see, he offered a different way to connect with the divine. It wasn't all solemn temples and quiet prayers with Dionysus. His worship involved big, energetic, noisy celebrations. He was a god for absolutely everyone. It didn't matter if you were rich or poor. Everyone was welcome to join his revelries. This made him quite unique among the gods. Dionysus had a rather dramatic entry into the world. His mother was a mortal princess named Semele, a lovely woman by all accounts. His father, as we know, was Zeus, king of the gods. Now Zeus's wife, Hera, was famously jealous, and she did not like this situation one bit, so she hatched a rather cunning and cruel plan. She decided to trick poor Semele. It was a very tragic affair. Hera, disguised, convinced Semele to make a request. Semele was to ask Zeus to appear before her, not in his usual human disguise, oh no, but in all his magnificent fiery godly glory. This was an incredibly dangerous thing to ask. No mortal could possibly survive such a sight. So, when Zeus reluctantly agreed, Semele was consumed by his divine radiance. A terrible end for her, sadly, but Zeus, in his grief, managed a quick rescue. He snatched the unborn baby Dionysus from the flames, and then, in a rather astonishing move, he did something quite extraordinary. He sewed the tiny baby into his own thigh. Yes, you heard that right, his thigh. There Dionysus stayed, safe and sound, until he was ready to be born. This made him known as the twice-born god. This unusual birth made Dionysus truly special, first born from his mortal mother Semele, then reborn from the thigh of mighty Zeus. This gave him a unique connection, you see. He understood the world of mortals, and he understood the world of the gods. This dual nature was a key part of his power. His main gifts were clear. He controlled wine, and all the feelings that wine could bring. Dionysus had many fascinating adventures. One famous tale involves some rather unfortunate pirates. They spotted Dionysus looking like a wealthy young man. They thought they could capture him and then demand a hefty ransom for his release. Oh dear, they really picked the wrong fellow. They had no idea he was a powerful god. A very big mistake on their part. Suddenly their ship underwent a startling transformation. Grapevines began to sprout from the mast. They grew all over the ship, heavy with fruit. Strange ethereal music started to play. Phantom wild animals like lions and panthers appeared on deck. The pirates were, quite understandably, utterly terrified. They leaped overboard into the churning sea. And Dionysus, with a flick of his wrist, turned them all into dolphins. His followers were a very enthusiastic bunch. The maenads were women who worshipped him with wild abandon. They would dance ecstatically through the mountains. They waved their thyrsi and sang his praises. The satyrs, those cheeky half-goat, half-man creatures, often joined them. They played lively music on pipes and drums, and of course there was plenty of wine involved. These processions were legendary. So people loved Dionysus for many reasons. He brought them joy, pure and simple. He gave them the wondrous gift of wine. He offered them a chance to feel truly free. But, it must be said, he was also feared. His power, if disrespected or uncontrolled, could be overwhelming. It could lead to madness and destruction. He represented the unpredictable, wild forces of nature, and of human emotion too. Even now, all these centuries later, Dionysus remains interesting. His myths and stories are incredibly ancient, of course, yet they somehow still resonate with us today. We humans still enjoy a good party, don't we? We still seek moments of joy and freedom. The spirit of Dionysus, that desire for release, lives on. You can see it in festivals and celebrations everywhere. He's not easily forgotten. What lessons can we perhaps take from his stories? Well, one might be the importance of enjoying life, to celebrate the good times when they come, but also a little note of caution. Too much of a good thing, as they say, that can sometimes lead to trouble. Dionysus, in his own way, teaches about balance and about accepting all the different parts of life, the calm and the wild together. He was a huge inspiration for art and culture. The famous Greek plays, both tragedies and comedies, they actually began as part of his festivals, the Dionysia. Painters, sculptors and writers throughout history have been fascinated by him. He represents that spark of wild, untamed creativity, the sudden rush of a new idea, a true muse for countless artists across the ages. He got the creative juices flowing, so Dionysus is much more than just the god of wine. He embodies some very deep human feelings and needs, the yearning for ecstatic joy, for example, the desire for liberation from our daily grind. He represents the untamed, instinctual side of our nature. He encourages us to live life to the full and to find our own rhythm, our own music, a rather splendid god, worth remembering always.